Time now for our coach's question, and it comes tonight from Andy Stevens of Parkland High School. How, Coach, do your practices change, if they do at all, at the end of the season as compared to, say, the beginning or middle of the year?
You know, that's a really good question. I think that's a question that all coaches kind of toy and tinker with, and I think every individual team has its own identity. One thing that I've found is, you know, obviously you'll go a little bit shorter as the season progresses. It's hard to go with those marathon type of practice sessions. You want to be very concise, you want to be very precise with what you want to accomplish, and understand that the preseason and everything that you did at the beginning of the year and towards the middle of the year was hopefully to build very good habits. And if those habits can stay to the forefront, now you can then work on just making sure that your emphasis continues to work on the same areas. Now, you can't scale back too much either, because you're training your players and you're training your athletes over time to compete. And if you treat practices with too much of a kick gloves, you're going to lose that element of competition. So I think what I find is we try to streamline our activities, we try to reduce the duration of our drills, but we still want to be competitive. We want our guys to be able to compete and figure out that there's a winner and a loser. And one thing that I'm trying to do even this year, and every year is different and every team's different, and sometimes they need different things. But this year I'm trying to see if we can get a little bit more application from our guys. So we're, like today for instance, we go in, we do some breakdown, we do some player development, and then immediately we're kind of going into the application of trying to play and compete and work on some of the things that we've been emphasizing, and hopefully that produces a positive result. But you know, you get at the end of the year and everything's hindsight. Everything's hindsight's always 20/20. Maybe we could have pushed a little bit harder, maybe we could have pulled back a little bit more. I have found that times where I've had the most regrets is where we pull back a little bit too much from that competitive element. But even with that said, you've just got to make sure that things are in short durations with a great deal of intensity, and hopefully find that balance in between.
Our coach's question tonight from Andy Stevens, head coach of the Parkland Trojans. They are in the semifinals of the upcoming District 11 4A tournament. Wednesday night they'll play Allen. They, of course, are the Eastern Pennsylvania Conference champions this year as well. We thank Coach Stevens. We need to step aside for a moment. When we return, Coach Reed and I will take a look at the upcoming two games and talk about this final week of the regular season. Stay with us. You're watching the Brett Reed Show tonight live on Service Electric Cable Television.